Good afternoon to you. It's my hope that your Tuesday is coming up well. You're right on time for the news now. My name is Linda Alela. Stay tuned. Our Abdul Karim Munyo, a Kenyan national who had been on death row in Saudi Arabia, has officially been released. This is one of the stories that we'll be carrying for you alongside these highlights. Abdul Karim Munyo, a Kenyan national previously sentenced to death in Saudi Arabia, has officially been released. And a section of students at Friends School Imbal Boys in Vihiga County have been sent home after allegedly setting fire to part of the school's main dormitory. Also, police have announced plans to launch a major security operation in Funyula, Busia County, following a sharp rise in incidents of lawlessness across the area. The news now begins right away with that very story. Abdul Karim Munyo, a Kenyan national who had been in a death row in Saudi Arabia, has officially been released. And according to Foreign Affairs Principal Secretary Karim, Munyo was freed at 10 a.m. Saudi local time on Tuesday from Shimesi prison that is in Mecca Governorate, and he's expected to travel back to Kenya shortly. Now, the Kenyan national had worked in the country as a warehouse manager and was arrested, sentenced to death in April 2011. That is following a Yemeni fatal confrontation, or a confrontation with a Yemeni colleague who later succumbed to injuries. He was due to execution last May, but then was granted a reprieve after the Kenyan government stepped in to negotiate with Saudi authorities, that is involving diplomats and religious leaders. Under Saudi law, the death sentence can be commuted in the victim's family, or if the victim's family accepts that the year is happening now, blood money as preparation. All right, elsewhere, a section of students that is at a Friends School Imbal Boys in Vihiga County have been sent home after allegedly setting fire to a portion of the main dormitory. And the incident comes just 2 months after the school was closed indefinitely. That is following a destructive protest that resulted in millions of shillings of losses. Now, although the learning activities have resumed, tension remains high in school. School administrators and security officials held a day-long closed-door meeting aimed at uncovering the root cause of the recurring unrest. That is Abdul School, with hosts nearly 1,400, or which hosts nearly 1,400 students. Area Police Commandant Martin Kangala has confirmed that investigations are underway and assuring parents that the safety of their children remains a top priority.
I want to confirm that this morning in Imbal Boys High School, fire erupted in one of the dormitories, and one of the cubicles in the dormitory was burned completely down, and property of unknown value was destroyed. However, with the help of the fire engine from the county government of Vihiga, we managed to put off the fire. I want to take this opportunity to assure all the stakeholders of this school, especially the parents having students in this school, that all the students are safe and they have been accounted for, and they are continuing with their normal studies. Earlier reports that we got indicate that there were some students who were sent home yesterday, and still investigation is ongoing, so that if other students will be brought into picture that they were involved in the incident, others will also be sent away. And at the moment, investigations are still ongoing to find out the cause of the fire.
And cases of insecurity in Funyula, Samya sub-county, that is in Busia County, continue to raise alarm as new incidents are being reported daily that prompt urgent and, of course, concern among residents, that is in the local authorities. The Deputy County Commissioner Joyce Onguso says security agencies are currently mobilizing operations, that is to restore calm, adding that patrols will then commence as soon as part of sustained efforts towards making sure that this situation is addressed. Now, meanwhile, parents have been urged to guide their children and discourage them from engaging in activities that pose threats to public safety.
We've had a multi-agency meeting comprising of all the agents of security in Samya County to just find out the problems facing our people in this constituency and how we can bring them out. So we have discussed and agreed on the gray areas, and we are going to start acting from the end of this week, and we have given ourselves 1 month of rapid response, and we'll do this work by patrols, by also calling meetings with the culprits, arresting others.
Mambo ya usalama, haswa hii mambo ya vijana kukata wananchi na mapanga usiku wakitoka mambo ya night vigil kwa ajili ya matanga. Hili jambo lilikuwa limeenea sana, limeendelea sana kwa siku nyingi. Sasa imebidi sisi kama mwakilishi wa watu wa Funyula na jamii yote watu ya Samya tuseme enough is enough. Hii mambo lazima ikome.
All right, the Principal Secretary for SME Development, Susan Mangeni, has urged small as well as medium-sized enterprises in Kenya to seize emerging business, that is, opportunities across the Horn of Africa, while emphasizing the role of economic diplomacy and regional integration in accelerating growth. Now, while speaking at the Global Somali Entrepreneurial Forum 2025 here in Nairobi, Mangeni also called on financial institutions to actively support intra-African trade, that is, through targeted financing reforms as well as broader access to investment. She noted that the African Continental Free Trade Area presents a golden opportunity, that is for local SMEs as well as, of course, international ones to expand their reach, build transborder value and chains, as well as contribute to sustained economic transformation.
We need to start having African homegrown institutions that will come up with African financial system, for example, because a lot of time, and not just to the Christian Africans, but everybody else who is in this space, we have opportunities under the AFCFTA today, which is heavily underutilized. So we need African institutions, African financing institutions. I'm happy if we have here African Development Bank, African Guarantee. We need to start coming up with financial system that speaks to African culture, speaks to African context, and speaks to African needs, because we are a young continent and we are growing young and younger every day. So this is a challenge that even as we talk about anything else, but how do we trade? It is only this trade, if we enhance it, that will help us solve a lot of conflicts that are happening in the region.
And now to politics. Yes, to politics. My Member of Parliament Edwin Mogo has urged elected leaders to refrain from premature electioneering and focus on delivering their mandates to the people. Now, amid rising political tensions, Mugar emphasized the need for national unity, peace, as well as responsible leadership, and warning that early campaigns risk derailing national progress. Speaking while commissioning several development projects, including facilities at the Mathioya Technical and Training College, the legislator said ongoing politicking is undermining service delivery and distracting attention from pressing public concerns.
Let us work. When time comes, you are going to mark our exam. Kila mtu atamakiwa exam yake. Ya president mtamark. Ya governor mtamark. Ya MP mtamark. Ya senator mtamark. Ya women rep mtamark. Na MCA. Si ndio? Sasa mumaki hiyo yote ninyi mtaamua. At the end of the day. So for now, let us work for our people.
All right, so we get sporty, where the Council for East and Central Africa Football Association, CECAFA, has expressed disappointment over Kenya's abrupt decision to pull out of the Four Nations tournament. Now, the withdrawal by Harambee Stars, who had already arrived in Arusha, was termed unfair by CECAFA Secretary General, that is Auka Gasheo, especially after efforts were made to accommodate the team's demands. Despite the setback, the regional competition will then proceed. And of course, with Uganda, Tanzania, as well as Senegal playing, Harambee Stars are back in the country to continue their preparation for the CHAN competition, which is scheduled to start from August the 2nd. Okay, Cameroonian sensational striker Brian Mbeumo has officially joined Manchester United Football Club until 2030. And of course, hey, that's the match that we had for you. I think it's now time that we call it a day, as we look forward to present some more for you. That is later at 7 p.m. as well as 9 p.m. East African time. Make sure that you keep it TV47. I close the news now. My name is Linda Alela.